Right, you join me in the last part of the build. We're going to make the rear of the model and we're going to merge everything together. So this one's going to be quick, folks. This is now invisible, as we know. Now we're going to use a new shape, which is a torus, which is up here. I'm going to raise it up to the standard height for me, which is 50, like so. I'm going to change its color to black, like that. And now I'm going to go to a new letter on the attributes for the torus, which is the E. And this is for making the torus thinner or fatter, okay? So I'm going to max space out there, and I'm going to type in 110, okay, on the E. It's still the same height, it's still the same width, but it's not as deep, okay? Go to attributes, and I'm going to make it taller now, so I'm going to put in 40 on the Y, so I'm going to make an ellipse. I'm going to leave the other two alone. It's also neutral, like that. While it's like that, we're going to control D to duplicate it, and we are going to rotate that 90 degrees. So we have a cross effect. Grouping these together, I'm going to control D to make another 2. I'm going to change the color of the new set to gold. Go into attributes, and I'm going to rotate this group 45 degrees on the Y, so we end up with that. I'm going to group those two units together. I'm going to control D again, and I'm going to rotate them half of 45, which is 22.50 degrees, like that. So we have that. I'm going to control D again and rotate it half of 22.50, which is 11.25 degrees. Okay, follow me so far? Jolly good. Now we're going to highlight everything, and we're going to ungroup everything there until we have one complete unit. Once we have that, we're going to press G, which is grouping it back together again. It's hollow, okay? Now you could leave it like that if you really wanted to, or you could fill it in by doing this. So now we know that this is 20.48 units wide, and we know it's 40 units tall. So I'm going to bring a sphere in, which I've done down there. I'm going to bring it up dead center of this shape, which is 50. There it is. Now I'm going to make this sphere fit inside that shape. Okay, now X and Z are 20.48 on that ellipse, so I'm going to type in 18 on X and Z to make it slightly smaller. The Y on that ellipse is 40, so down here on this sphere I'm going to make it 38, leaving it neutral, 18, 38 and 18. Okay, so when we do that, we put the sphere inside that shape. Alright, group. Now I'm going to save this as abdomen, or bottom, whatever you want to call it, and click OK. Now comes the fun part. We merge everything together. Don't panic. This is going to be cool. This is how we finally construct everything and put all the things we've learned together, like repositioning, rotating, lining up, everything else. So bear with me. The first thing I'm going to do, now I've saved that, is I'm going to open, don't need to save again, the legs we've made, okay, which were a pair of legs, like that, and this is where we're going to start from. Now we have 2 legs, and remember, when we ungroup these legs, we put the pivot point of these legs, like so, yeah, so we can move them. While I have this open, I'm now going to take my viewpoint above, okay? You see the ground plane down here? Click on it and remove it. All will become apparent in a minute, okay? Don't panic, but all will make sense in a minute. So now we just have the legs and this thing. Highlighting these legs, I'm going to press Control D, and I've duplicated all of it, the whole lot. Now I'm going to move these that way, so that will be X. Okay, so I'm going to move these up, keeping an eye on these little bearings here, render it up like so. It's blue at the moment because we have no floor, and I think I'll leave it in that position there. That looks fine to me. Now don't worry, what I'm about to do may be a bit trippy, but we're going to ungroup these legs like that. Click away from the screen like that. Now we can click on this leg here. Now I want to rotate this that way, and I want it to be about 45 degrees. So once you start moving the leg in the right direction you want it to be in, stop, go to the attributes, see which one of the rotates has moved. We know it's the Y, and it's minus 39 degrees. Well, I want it to be 45 degrees. So leaving the minus, I'm going to backspace 39 out and put 45 in. Don't touch the 180 on that side, okay? Don't touch that one. There you go. That leg has now pivoted 45 degrees, like so. We're going to do the same with this leg. We're going to go and type in minus 45, click OK, and now we have them two facing that way. Got that? Good. Now we need to group these two legs and that body part back together again, so I'm going to go around the side view, like that. Clicking on the screen, I'm going to highlight these two legs and that body section, like that. See that? And group them back together again. Now I need to copy these two legs, which I'll do Control and D again, and I want to flip them the other way. So moving them that way will be X, so we go to our flip tool, flip X, they're around the other way, reposition using X, and we're going to move these across so they're on the other side of our original two legs and line it up like so. You got that? Easy, eh? Jolly good. Go around the front, highlight everything, and group everything together. Now you could save that as 6 legs if you really wanted to, but for me I'm just going to leave this. Now what I'm going to do is go and merge the head that we've already made. Say, do you want to save? No. And we find the head done, which is there, and we click on open. Not only this is why I got rid of the ground plane. See, I'm going to move this out. It needs to be moved out X, just ahead of these legs so you can see them. You will notice now it's brought in the ground plane where we made the head. If you keep merging things together without removing these, in the end you'll have loads of these ground planes all piled up on top of each other. So it's always better to remove them, which I'm going to do with Control X, until you finish constructing your model, and then you can put a plane in there and set everything upon it, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Now the head is round the wrong way. It wants to be that way. So we look from the top, we know it's going to be Y, rotate, and we'll rotate it 90 degrees, like so. And because we have kept everything in line, dead center in this Bryce arena, at the moment it's dead center on the X that way, we are going to move this back to meet the legs, like so. Have a look at it and see if it's big enough. And I might make it a little bit bigger because it's too small. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get it in the view like this and grab a corner, pull it out and just make it a tiny bit bigger. Okay, you have to do this resizing things. Now if I've resized it, I've pulled it to the left, so I need to centralize it again, which was our X. So we put down 0 and it puts it back in the middle. We'll have a look. That looks about right, but I'd like to change the angle of it so it's tilted back. So go around the side, click on the Z with the rotate up here and tilt it back just a little bit, like that. So you should end up with that. And I'm thinking, yeah, that will do. That will do fine. Now, you group that together with the legs. And now we're going to merge the last part, which was the abdomen. So we're going to go merge, don't save. Bring the abdomen in. Okay. Do the same thing as we did with the head. We're going to move this forward so we can see it. Clicking away from the screen, click on the plane and remove it. The abdomen needs to be a lot bigger, okay? At the moment it's too small. So what we're going to do is grab a corner. We go around the front, like so. Grab a corner and make it bigger. And I'm going to drag it out to that size, which is 38 by 75 by 38, okay? And you can see now why this X has been highlighted in blue. It has moved away in that direction. So we just put that back to 0, like so. Now it's centered again. Now I can move this back towards the back of our bug, like so. So it's there. Now I want to rotate it. So from the side, highlight Z, rotate it on the Z axis, and I'm going to leave it there, which is about 66 degrees roughly. Look from the top and render it up. So it's just going inside the back end of this body. Look from the side, and I think that will do. Okay, so personal taste, you know, lining things up, moving things about. Now we're going to group everything we've made together. And we're done. We're finished. Go back to create. Excuse me while I answer the phone. Yes, the phone rings. Always a way, you're either in a bath or you're modelling. Right, now, what we're going to do, we've gone back into create. I'm going to click on the terrain, which is this little one here. And it will create a terrain down there. Now I'm going to move that forward so it's away from the legs, and it will make sense in a minute while I do that. Like so. Spin the camera around. Now the terrain, I'm going to go into the materials and I'm going to change it to sandstorm. This is my own personal choice. Make it whatever you want. Like so. It's a personal choice to how you know, what scene you want it to be in and what plane. I'm just going to do it there so it's contrasting, okay? So now we come around the front and we have a look at it. Make sure it's touching the ground plane, which it is, okay? We can then click the whole model and make it go up and down and move it around a bit. So I'm going to lower it down just a tiny bit. Get your position right. So, like so. Zoom it in, like that. Okay. Go to sky and fog, and now I'm going to choose something simple. I'm just going to choose a normal, simple blank background sky. I'm going to manipulate the sun around, hit render, and there we have it. We have a completed bug. Okay. It's very basic. You'll notice you can see the little black part of the body section sticking through that torus, so you can move that leg forward. But this gives you the idea of how to construct and put things together and make your own things in Bryce. Okay, this is basically what I do. Thank you very much. 22 seconds. Didn't take long. Now you can save the whole thing and call it whatever you wish, and you can employ all the things I've shown you in other modeling techniques. So I hope that's been helpful. If not, drop me a line and I'll see what I can do. For now, this is me saying goodbye. Thanks for watching and take care.